Hi, it's Adam, one of the pastors at the First United Church of Christ Congregational in Milford, Connecticut, and thank God it's Friday, April 3rd, 2020. The other week in one of my prayers, I used the phrase that this pandemic is less like a sprint and more like a marathon, and I got feedback that this resonated with a lot of people. Now, I have never actually run a marathon, but I have, however, hiked 40 miles in a day on multiple occasions with my friends on trails. And what I can tell you from my experience with that is that there is a transition from kind of the first phase of the trek to the second. In the first phase, there's light conversation and kind of an eagerness to move forward. But then there's usually a transition when the conversations kind of die out and people start to come to grips with the physical and the emotional toll that the journey is taking. And I have this sense that we are starting to make that transition into that second phase now, if we haven't already. For example, I know that many of you have lost your jobs as a result of this pandemic. Others have lost loved ones who have died from the virus. Some of you are isolated at home, not knowing if you have the virus right now. Some of you are isolated in terms of living alone, while others are having to share spaces kind of in a crammed kind of way, in a sense that they've never had to before. And we know that there are many of you who work in the medical field or other essential jobs that mean that you go out to work every day not knowing if you're going to be exposed to the virus. This can all be very draining. Now, at this stage, when the weight of the pandemic sets in more, it's a time like this when simple acts of encouragement go a long way. Reaching out to somebody doesn't need to take a long time, but simply letting them know that they are loved by another person and that there are people who stand in solidarity with them, that can make all the difference in the world. As we enter Holy Week, I'm focusing on the good news that Jesus stands in solidarity with us. Jesus can't give us a hug or sit down with us for a cup of coffee, but he does open his arms to us on the cross. Jesus suffers in solidarity with us after living in solidarity with us. His suffering comes precisely because the love that he shared from God is available to all people, and that universal love threatened people who wanted to make us live in fear. And so Jesus dies on the cross because of their fear of his love. And so it is that we are not in a time of business as usual. God's love is even more essential now than it has been in a long time. The things that we can continue to do include being merciful and generous. All people can be merciful in this moment by sharing things like a heart-to-heart phone call with somebody or waving as someone walks by our home. Being merciful might mean giving the benefit of the doubt to a housemate or by admitting how trying this time can be for us. For those of us who do have tangible resources and feel called to share, there are ways that we can be generous by helping our neighbor, by helping family members, and by giving to causes that are important to us. For example, our church has changed the recipient of our Easter offering from supporting the church buildings to now going to a COVID relief fund at the church to help deal with needs as they arise. You can go to firstchurchofmilford.org/EasterGiving, and there you can give to the Matthew 25 COVID fund. You can also keep up with your pledge, or if you want to, you can give a donation to help with the historic buildings of the church. I want you to know that the staff are busy offering their different ministries online and adapting to these circumstances. The food closet remains open on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thank you, volunteers. Milford Food to Kids is busy supporting the Milford Public School District's efforts to feed hungry kids and has advocated for them to feed those kids through April break, which is happening. We are the body of Christ in the world today. We suffer together. We offer mercy to one another together. We offer generosity to one another as needs arise. We invite you on this Sunday morning to join us for a Bible study at 8 a.m. that I'll be leading on Zoom. There'll be a link on the website. At 9:15 a.m., Dan Brownell will lead a hymn sing on our Facebook page. And then at 10 a.m., there will be a special online Palm Sunday service that has been curated by Reverend Ashley, and that's on YouTube. The website has all the links. So we wish you God's peace and blessings and health and safety in this time.